In this video, I will explain some common rendering issues when rendering with Movie Render Queue, specifically around color output. And this is in response to Bluftone, who left a question on my plugin page for Filmify. He said he had issues with color output being different from what he's seeing in the viewport, which I've experienced myself as well. And luckily, I was able to find a way around these issues. I have a simple scene setup here with a metahuman and some animated lights, and I want to render this. So I'm going to use Movie Render Queue. I've enabled it in the plugins. If you don't see that, you should enable it there first. Once you open this up, I will make a settings config. So I'll delete JPEG because I don't want that. I'm going to render as PNGs. This is fine. I'm going to leave this all as default. I will just render to an arbitrary folder and name it MRQ, no profiles. So this is an example without any color profiles added. Once we see the preview here, you can quickly see that it's all messed up. So my colors are not outputting correctly at all. And if I drag that into After Effects and preview video, it will look the same like in the preview. So how do we fix this? Well, I dug around and I found out that we can import color profiles. So there's a GitHub for open OCIO configs. So down at the releases here, you can click this one and download this file. So once you have that downloaded, extract it to any folder you want. It doesn't really matter. I've extracted it to my Dropbox folder over here. Once we have that, we can go back into Unreal. And in the content browser, I will make a new folder called OCIO. In that folder, right-click and navigate to, let's see what it is, miscellaneous. And it should be down here at the bottom. Yes, Open OCIO configuration. Click that. Name it something you want. I'm just going to keep the default name. Double-click it and navigate to where you saved that extracted folder. So if I find mine, it's right here. I'm just going to copy this and place that in there. Actually, no, I'm gonna open it. I'm gonna go there because I want to select this config.ocio. Click that, hit reload and rebuild. Nothing will happen right away, but now we can select color spaces that we want. So under desired color spaces, we are going to add utility linear Adobe RGB. Select that one, and for desired display views, click plus and add ACES Rec 709. You can also do sRGB. It's almost similar. Rec 709 is mostly used in cameras, I think. I'm not an expert by any means, but I got some nice results with Rec 709, so I'm going to choose that one. Save this config and exit it. Now it's important to use these color profiles in our viewport as well as in our render, because if we set it in our viewport, we can see the exact output that we're going to be outputting. So under lit, OCIO display, enable it, select that asset that we made. Then for the top one, we select, Then for our top one, we select the utility linear Adobe RGB. And for the bottom one, we select Rec 709. And maybe you noticed it, but it immediately got slightly lighter, which is fine. That's just our color profile that we set, so we can make adjustments accordingly. So if I just add back a little bit of contrast and up my gain a little bit. Cool, I'm happy with that. Go back to your sequencer, open the Movie Render Queue, and go into the settings again. Keeps adding JPEG. I'm just going to delete that one more time. I'm going to keep PNG. This is all fine. I just want to add color output. And under color output, we can enable this OCIO configuration. We can select our asset that we made. For the source, we want to set it to linear, Adobe RGB. Destination mode, we want to do display view. And choose Rec 709 under the destination display view. That should be fine. I will output another render to a different folder. So I'm going to do movie render queue with profiles. Hit render or hit accept, then hit render. And this render preview will show the linear output. So we'll also show the source, which is in this case the linear Adobe RGB. Once it starts rendering, we can see that the colors will be different from our viewport. But this is fine because it's going to apply that Rec 709 color profile to the final PNGs that we output. Okay, so when that's done, I will show you the folder with the output images. And as you can see immediately, the colors look much better here. So I'm going to import this into After Effects and just show the file. Okay, so if I drag in this video, put it in a new comp, you can see the colors are still somehow very off. That is because under our video file, we want to go to Interpret Footage, Main, and under Color Management, we want to do Preserve RGB to tell After Effects that it's not a linear color space, but actually just 8-bit RGB. And as you can see, I messed up with my aspect ratio here on the sides, but that's fine. We have our expected output. And as you can see, maybe you can't see it on YouTube impression, but we have our nice grains and all our post-processing is actually coming through exactly like how we saw it in the viewport. So that's it.